They think the issues are too deep to be grasped by outsiders or common folk. Yeah, as you can see, that's a screen grab from a Thunderbolt project video. And I'm a little bit upset at the moment. That's why I'm making the video. I really don't know what I'm exactly want to talk about. Probably this is the main thing behind that because yeah, I got upset by some discussion I had today with a quite famous person here in Finland. He's this kind of astronomer dude, university people. And it's the second time now in probably 2 weeks or something that this kind of scholar person, which has enjoyed this kind of university education in whatever they did, like was it history or astronomy or whatever, astrology, cosmology, whatever they do, like, they're graduated people. I'm not. I'm not. I don't have any paper or whatsoever which would give me this kind of imagine it right to speak. I don't need a paper to speak. I don't need a paper to think. I am really curious in nature. I don't have to try to be curious. And I'm really suspicious. And how to put it? Like today, again, I got talked to like, you didn't have this education that I enjoyed and you don't know shit about anything. Basically. And for me, like finding the electric universe was the total liberation of thought because like, all my life I have been interested in whatever seismic activities, volcanoes, weather. I was an ornithologist when I was younger, like watching birds, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, running in the forest, be silent and watch some birds. Walking up to the hills in the Alps and watching some rare birds in the Alps and all this kind of stuff when I was like, I don't know, 15 or something. 12, 13, 15, I don't remember. Anyway, I was into nature all my life. And yeah, by finding finally something which really connects all the dots of information I have gathered over the years. Like back in the days, there was no internet, there was no smartphones, no YouTube, no Wikipedia, no whatsoever. It just didn't exist yet. But I learned earlier that there's many people who don't give a shit about what's going on. As long as they have everything what they think they need. Nice car, nice house, and good food, and holiday on the other side of the world, and all this kind of modern day society status symbolic and the linkage between being rich and being smart and the pressure from the society of being smart and being rich, and if you don't have a nice car you can't be famous or you can't be clever, and all this kind of distraction from the real thing, so to say. One basic law of nature is balance, which doesn't mean that it's this kind of just stand still, nothing is moving, the air is, everything is like calm. No, that's balance too, but there's also this kind of energetic balance, this kind of static. There's like, tension in it, but it's in balance. There are many kind of balances, you know. But anyway, so, and I thought that now today when I got talked to again, like of being not educated properly, so I don't have a right to talk or to ask questions. So what is going on? It can't be. It's totally like, I don't get it. Who has the right to talk to me like that? Yeah, you haven't been to school, you never can be, you know. What? So I just thought that there have been people in the past. I'm not saying I'm like one of those. No, it's not about that. It's just, I just want to make a point that you don't have to go to a university in order to get educated. One thing about this kind of university education is that, of course, there's money involved, you pay for it, and afterwards you really hope that you get a job and you can pay it back what you like, this kind of loan from the bank that you can go to make your education, and then you make your final thing, and I don't know what's in English, väitöskirja in Finnish, like, the final work, and you get roasted, and if you pass, you're a doctor or whatever, and from then on you have really the right to talk. People are listening to you, like really listening, because you made the education, which was really expensive. So, at the end, the whole thing is it has to make some profit, like the whole education. First you have to pay, and then you hope that you will get something back, of course. Yeah, it has to make profit. So if you talk about something which is not really, how to say, profitable, you just won't, because you won't make your living, because it's not profitable to talk about so certain things, Sorry for that. A small intermezzo. Let's check out what's going on. Corona hole. Yeah. Earth, we are about here. So they are all those this and this and this. They are like Earth facing. Also this upper one, but it's a little bit higher than we are. But anyway, let's go back to where we have been before. Yeah, coronal holes. They trigger earthquakes. Like the scholar, which made me make this video now. Cranked me up. He's this kind of Newtonian scientist, which believe that there's this nuclear reaction going on inside of the sun, which gives all the energy and heat and all this kind of stuff. The heat comes from the core of the sun. And now I just got this notification that there's a coronal hole facing Earth. Yeah, and if you watch at them, they're darker than, because they're holes. They're like holes in the atmosphere where you can not really see, but you can see through a little bit more to the surface of the actual sun, and they are darker. So it's really a hole, and If the heat and all the stuff would come from the core, you would expect if there would be a hole in the atmosphere that it would be much brighter and much hotter. But it's the opposite. You know? So the heat and the stuff can't come from the core of the sun. Simple. Anyway, list of autodidacts. There has been many people who changed the world without having been in any kind of university. I'm trying to change the world. I'm not trying to get in any kind of history books or whatever. But I don't know if you heard ever about Mark Passio. He asked this one simple question: are you one of the good or the bad guys? And the thing is, if you see behind the curtain, if you start to see how it goes, then you don't do anything in order to help people to see the things too as they are. You are one of the bad guys, and I'm not one of the bad guys. This is about truth, it's not about me. Really not. Hermann Hesse, who, like, I don't know, many of those. Benjamin Kidd, Hermann Hesse, I once read a book from this guy too. William Blake, Jack London. They're just writers, all of them. Artists and authors. Yeah, I wanted to show you something like scientist stuff. Actors and sorry for that. But obviously there are a few people, autodidacts, didacts, or however you tell them. Engineers and inventors, no. Leonardo da Vinci. Probably heard of that dude. James Watt. Edison. Nikola Tesla. Wright brothers. Henry Ford. Galileo Galilei. Michael Faraday. André-Marie Ampère. Benjamin Franklin. Karl Marx. So, no, actually I had a really long break now. I don't know where I have been, what I have been talking about before. Anyway, my point is that it is somehow really sad, but not surprising that it is really hard to get to talk with those people in a normal sense without they are getting, in a way, offended or whatever. Like, I have been reading about all this kind of Newtonian science stuff, like NASA always discovers something like really amazing or unprecedented, or it's a mystery, and all this kind of stuff, geological explanations for whatever strange events, weather phenomena, and recently I got this kind of explanation from the Finnish Meteorological Institute that thunderstorms are not related with any ground charge or whatsoever, because they could just get blown around randomly in the landscape by winds, which is a little bit strange. I just, it doesn't make sense. And the funny thing is that they don't even seem to try to prove that what they are saying is correct. They just, I don't know. It's really funny. Really sad. So no one can ever convince me that any kind of volcano can produce this kind of molten metal on top of a rock, for example. Or how do you imagine, like, volcanic activity? Molten rock on top of a molten metal on top of a rock? Yeah. Really? This just doesn't make sense at all. So with that, there are many, many, many other things too. Like, what the fuck is going on? Everybody's running around being scared of some, yeah, disease. And they see all those weather events happening around the world, wherever you watch hailstorms, thunderstorms, floods. And they can't anymore give too much attention to that because they are so disturbed by this other huge thing. And if one understands the importance of water in electrical circuits, one may be a little bit worried even about the seismic possible activity of Middle Europe. Sorry for that. Yeah, I showed you this today already. And people aren't really aware of what's going on. They're not even aware of where they are living. Basically, you can say that, no, I have to start from the beginning. Like if you watch where we have volcanoes, if you go closer, volcanoes here,